What's up, Barbianas? Welcome back to the Partyyana, and in today's video I'm going to be telling y'all a story time on how I got Nick sick. I'm about to be telling y'all how I basically overdosed on nicotine. Before I start this video, I do want to say I do not smoke nicotine. I do it like every blue moon, like when it's offered to me. I don't hit it like that. I don't care for nicotine. I never really did care for nicotine. The reason why I bought this was for it to be like a weed filler because I'm on a tea break. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. So don't come on here, you know what I'm saying? Oh, she's a nickhead. Oh, she's a da-da-da. Because first of all, baby, I'm not a nickhead. I'm very much a pothead. I very much smoke a lot of weed, okay? This right here explains that, and I have 4 more of these. So this explains that I'm a pothead, not a nickhead. So before y'all come for me, yeah, don't do that, okay? This is very much a experiment, and the experiment went wrong. I'm gonna be telling y'all what happened. Please don't be in my comment section like, oh, that's what you get, da da da. Everybody learns their own way, and I learned my own way. Personally, never gonna want to ever hit Nick again due to what just happened to me, and it literally just happened to me, and I'm literally just now recovering from it. Okay, so let's get straight into this story time. So I had went to the smoke shop earlier because they cool as fuck, and I had bought me some blunts and I had bought me some papers. Now they sell pre-rolls, and what I was really meaning to do was to get some pre-rolls, but my stupid ass was worried about puffs because I was like, oh, let me get a puff because like my parents, you know what I'm saying, they don't like the smell of weed, and I'm on a tea break, so I'm not trying to really smoke weed right now. So I really wasn't thinking about weed. I was thinking about puffs. So I was like, oh, let's see if they have puffs. So I went in there. I'm like, do y'all got 2% puffs? Because 5% puffs, like this one, this is the one that got me sick as fuck. Okay, this is the Fume Extra Cotton Candy. Okay, I asked them if they had 2% puffs because I've had 2% puffs and they never made me feel any kind of, you know, weird or sick. So I asked them if they had that. They didn't have it. They had 5%. Now I've had one of these before and it was okay. I didn't really care for it, but I was really just using it just to hit it and, you know, take cute videos of me smoking or whatever. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I buy the puff or whatever. So I inhale it, you know, a couple times. I didn't really feel too bad. I did feel slight nausea, but I was like, maybe that's just, you know, I'm thinking like that's probably the nicotine, so I'm like, maybe I shouldn't hit it as much. So a couple hours later I hit it again. Now mind you, I had a headache earlier, so I had took like some naproxen or whatever. So 5 hours passed by, I go to hit my Nick again. Boom, I'm trying to do my makeup because I was gonna film a YouTube video. Okay, I hit it like about 4 times. I inhale it. Okay, boom. Then like 10 minutes after, I go in the bathroom, I hotbox the bathroom, and I hit it like 4 more times or 5 more times. So I look at myself in the bathroom. I start feeling like a little dizzy, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm already knowing that Nick make you dizzy, so I'm like, okay, whatever. Then all of a sudden my stomach go to flipping. Okay, it went and took a little turn, you know, I did a little flip over. Okay, so my stomach went and flipped, and I started feeling a little nauseous. I'm like, maybe it's just a little, you know, quick little feeling of nausea or whatever. Like I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying, feel nauseous for like a whole hour. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be straight. It's whatever. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So then I start to get a little anxiety because I have a phobia to throwing up and being nauseous, and I already have anxiety in general. So like, if you know me, if you've been watching my channel, you know I have like anxiety and depression. So I have very bad anxiety. I have like general anxiety. That's what my therapist told me. And I also have like an extreme phobia to throwing up. So when you have a phobia to throwing up, like your anxiety is like more severe when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, throwing up. So I go in my room and I sit down, and I can feel the nausea getting worse. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck? Now I done felt this kind of nausea before, like, because one time I almost thought I was greening out. Well, it wasn't the fact that I was greening out, but I had smoked a blunt and I didn't eat anything, and it had made me hella nauseous. And what I did in that case was sit in front of the fan. So what I did was I turned the fan on. After I hit my Nick, I came back in the room, I turned my fan on, I started playing music to calm myself down because I could feel myself like getting really anxious because I can feel that I'm getting nauseous. Then I start to feel worse, and I'm like, oh shit, like what the fuck? So my stomach flips again. Now look, I'm gonna be real with y'all, I had to go take a fucking shit. So I went to the bathroom because my stomach flipped, and I like got hella nauseous. I got nervous. Like when you get nervous, well, when I get nervous, I be having to take a shit, I ain't gonna lie. So I went to the bathroom, I did what I had to do. Let's not act like we don't shit. If you're childish and y'all act like y'all don't take shits, get off my fucking channel, because I'm real as ever and I don't got time to lie. So I went and I took a shit. I came back and I'm like, bro, I still feel nauseous as fuck. So it got really really bad. So I'm sitting here, you know what I'm saying, turning the fan on, playing music, and I'm like, bro, it's getting worse and worse and worse. So I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, I feel like fucking shit. So you know what I'm saying, I'm looking up stuff, I'm trying to play music to calm my nerves. I'm playing G Herbo because I love G Herbo, so I'm playing G Herbo. I'm like, fuck, this shit ain't working. Like I'm relating to the lyrics, because he was like, man, that shit made me sick. I'm like, yeah, I'm sick too, G Herbo, like, what's up? So I'm like, shit, but this is not working. So I'm like, I'm going on, you know, I'm saying Safari. I'm like, how can I stop being sick? I'm like, what's going on? And Safari was like, Nick poisoning. And I'm like, Nick poisoning? So I'm like, oh shit, oh, I hope I'm not like poisoned from Nick. And I'm like, and then I read some other shit and it's like overdosing and da da da. That made my anxiety go skyrocket. Like, it literally went through the roof. So I'm like, literally, like, it's getting worse and worse. Like, by the time, like, it's getting worse and worse and worse. Like, my nausea was getting worse and worse, and as my nausea got worse, my anxiety got worse. So as I'm feeling this nausea get worse, my anxiety is going through the roof. Like, my heart is beating as if I just smoked 5 blunts right now. That is how hard my heart is beating. So I'm like, okay, this shit is getting fucking scary. So I go on TikTok and I'm like, okay, let's look up what to do, you know what I'm saying, you get sick or whatever. And I'm just seeing all these things talking about eat sugar, blah blah blah. So boom, I'm in this same area and I'm literally sitting here moving positions. Like, I'm 1 minute I'm here, 1 minute I'm there, 1 minute I'm here, 1 minute I'm there, because it's like I'm nauseous and I feel like I'm about to vomit. And it was a very, very sick feeling. Like, I felt very sick. I felt very, very, very sick. Like, this shit had me sick as a dog. Like, for a second I was like, I'm gonna go to, you know what I'm saying, hospital, but I was like, nah, because I can't get caught with, you know what I'm saying, this nicotine, because my parents don't think I smoke nicotine, they only think I smoke weed. So you know what I'm saying, so I'm like, I'm not gonna get caught with that. I'm not doing all that. I ain't got time for that. I got time for them saying, oh, so you do that too? And I'm like, I'm not doing that, because they don't think that I smoke this every day, and I don't even do it like that. It's literally like every blue moon. So I'm like, I'm not trying to have them think all crazy and shit. So I'm like, I'm not going to the fucking hospital. I'm finna ride this shit out. And that's exactly what I did. So I'm sitting there, I'm nauseous as fuck, like very sudden urge to throw up. So boom, I go and I try to find myself something to drink, because I'm like, I'm looking at these videos and shit and they're like, oh, drink something, like drink a soda, or you know what I'm saying, have something sweet. I go and I try to do what they say. I go and I get like a teaspoon of sugar and I swallow the teaspoon of sugar and I drink like some diet sweet tea with it, so it could like help me get the sugar down. And then like, I still felt nauseous, and it's like, while I was doing all of these things, I was panicking. Like, my heart was beating fast as fuck. So anxiety combined with nausea is not a good feeling, especially when you have a phobia to throwing up. That combined, that is the worst feeling ever. This is worse than being sick, honestly. Like, this is worse than being sick. Being nauseous with a phobia to throwing up, so you basically have a phobia to throwing up and you're nauseous. So that's basically being nauseous with anxiety. That's not a good combination. So I'm like, fuck. So as I'm like trying to, you know what I'm saying, get things to make me feel better, like I'm literally panicking. So I'm like, fuck, like what do? I asked my dad, I'm like, do you have that sparkling water? He's like, no. I'm like, I'm panicking, like, because I was trying to get the sweet sparkling water, because we have like sweet sparkling water, it tastes like, you know what I'm saying, Sprite. He ain't had no more. But I went to the front of the house and we had like this nasty ass sparkling water. So I go and I try to sip some of this or whatever, right? I drink it. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I'm like, I'm trying to tell myself in my head that I'm fine, but I'm not fine. So I tried drinking all these things. I tried to, you know what I'm saying, make myself feel better. Nothing was making me feel better. I just felt like I was gonna throw up. Like, I just felt so sick. My stomach felt horrible. Like, it was flipping. And it's like I had like, you know how like you feel in your like throat that you're about to throw up? That's how I was feeling. And then like the headache was still not going away, so I still had like a slight headache, and it was just really, 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 really bad. So like I'm sitting there and it got worse. So before it was like I'm nauseous, then it became to the point where it's like I'm panicking and I'm nauseous, and now I'm like literally having a fucking panic attack. So I'm trying to calm myself down. I'm pulling up shit from YouTube. I'm literally watching videos, how to stop Nick sickness, how to blah blah blah, how you da. So boom, I'm like, fuck, this shit ain't working. I don't even want to fucking hear it no more. So I go and I search up Peppa Pig because that's like one of my favorite kids shows. Yes, I'm childish as fuck. I don't care. Like, somebody take me to Peppa Pig land at this fucking point because I'm willing to go. But I search up Peppa Pig. I try to watch some Peppa Pig, you know, calm myself down. I keep moving, like I keep moving positions. Like 1 minute I'm here, 1 minute I'm there, 1 minute I'm here. And mind you, I have my fan on so I could like have the air circulated. The fucking Peppa Pig was not working. It did not make me calm down or whatever. Like, I was just having, like, I was breathing hard as fuck. Like, I'm like I'm literally fucking hyperventilating in this bitch, and it was so fucking ghetto. So Peppa Pig was not giving what it was supposed to give. I love Peppa Pig, but it was not helping my nerves and was not making my nerves good. So I'm like, I'm watching it, I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? So that's when I start panicking again. I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? I'm just sitting here nauseous as fuck. 1 minute I'm in this position, 1 minute I'm in that position, and I'm just literally breathing hard as fuck. The sudden, like the urge, I had such a bad urge to throw up, but I'm like, I'm not gonna throw up because if I throw up I'm gonna literally die. So I was panicking hard as fuck. If y'all know how it feels to be nauseous, you know that it's a very terrible feeling. And I'm not talking about no baby ass nauseous. I'm talking about like a severe nauseous. Like, I was severely fucking nauseous. Like, I was nauseous as fuck. Like, it was giving pregnant with twins vibes. So okay, boom, I look up some meditation shit, like some nausea meditation shit. So I'm like, okay, boom, we finna look up some meditation shit. Well, before I looked up the nausea meditation, I looked up like relaxing music to help you sleep. I was like, nah, fuck that. Let's see if they got some nausea, like something for your nausea. So I look it up. I'm reading the comments. So as I'm reading the comments, I'm listening to it or whatever. I'm still switching positions and shit. I'm still like switching my body and, you know what I'm saying, trying to get a good angle because 1 minute I feel like I'm going to throw up and stuff, and I'm still panicking, and I'm reading the comments, and they're like, this is what really was fucking me up. Like, this was the worst part of this whole entire situation. So I'm reading the comments or whatever, and they're like, you're okay, you're fine, just read this and just know that you're okay. And I really needed that because it's like, I was the only one here. Like, when you're panicking and you don't have nobody with you, it is the worst thing ever. My boyfriend was at work, I was here by myself. I had to ride that shit out by myself. I was on some gremlin type of timing. I had to ride that shit out by myself. I was not going for none of that shit. So I'm reading it. So as I'm reading it, I'm having like, I'm fighting demons while I'm reading it. So I got like, I'm picturing like letters saying you are okay, you will be okay, and then I'm visioning like you're gonna throw up, you're going to die, you know what I'm saying, like, and it's just, I'm just having all these thoughts like, you're gonna die, like, this is not okay, you're gonna throw up, like, all of these thoughts going in my head, and I'm just visioning all of these bad things happening to me, and it was the worst thing ever. So it made my anxiety 10 times worse. So as I'm trying to read it, like, I'm having all different kind of thoughts at once, and that's how anxiety does you. It will fuck you up like that. So I'm panicking like fuck. Like, I'm panicking hard as a bitch. Like, I'm literally breathing hard as fuck. And I'm trying so hard to like breathe in and breathe out, and it was so fucking hard. I was like I literally was looking like a fucking possessed demon. So I was trying all these methods. I was squeezing my hand, breathing in and out. It was really hard, so I was like squeezing my fucking hand as hard as possible. I was doing all of the methods that I would do like when I usually be nauseous. Like, when I'm usually nauseous in a point like that, I usually just fold my hands like this and I lay over and I go to sleep. That was not working. So I was squeezing my hand because I'm just looking up shit, and like they're saying squeeze your thumb or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm squeezing my hand, I'm rubbing my pulse or whatever. None of that shit was working. So I was still breathing hard as fuck. So I was still switching positions, you know what I'm saying, trying to get a good angle. It was very, you know what I'm saying, ghetto. I was panicking. So I had my teddy bear, and I was just like I was talking to myself while I was doing this. I was like, you're okay, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. And then in my head I'm like, no the fuck you're not, no the fuck you're not, no the fuck you're not, no the fuck you're not. So it's like, you have to fight them demons. Like, when you're going through shit like this, you really gotta fight your own demons. And I feel like I'm tough enough because honestly, I got through that shit by myself. Nobody fucking helped me while I was fucking panicking. I had that fucking panic attack by myself. I ain't smoked no weed. I ain't do none of that shit. I did all of that shit by myself. So I got my teddy bear. I finally found like a good position to lay in. I'm squeezing the shit out of this teddy bear. Like, I am squeezing the life out of this teddy bear. And then I start to slowly fall asleep. Now, it took me a good like 30 minutes to fall asleep, y'all. It was very, 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 very hard, but I started to shut my eyes. I was squeezing the hell out of my teddy bear because it was no way I was gonna like fall asleep without trying to squeeze something. So squeezing the fuck out of this young man that my boyfriend got me, and I was squeezing the fuck out of it, and I ended up falling asleep. I woke back up. I still felt a slight little nausea and a slight anxiety, but it was not as bad as it was before. Now all of this just happened, so this literally just happened a couple hours ago, you guys. I literally just like took a shower about an hour ago. I just ate about 30 minutes ago. I had like 3 Lunchable pizzas that I put in the air fryer. It was terrible. When I tried to, like, before I ate, I drank some of my Capri Sun. I feel a little cramp, a little nausea in my stomach. I was like, is it coming back? Please don't come back. So, but I ate and I feel okay now. I just have a slight headache or whatever, and the symptoms are going down. But it was the worst feeling, like one of the worst feelings that I've ever experienced. Of course, I've been through, you know, bad experiences like this before, because I've had the flu, I've had pneumonia, I've had terrible headaches, like bad headaches where I'm like praying to God that it goes away and shit. So I've been through a couple of painful situations, but this one right here was probably one of the worst, because like when you're sick like that and then you're panicking, it's not a good mix. Like, I'm panicking and I'm sick, bro. Like, I already got anxiety and then I got a phobia, so that just make it 20 times worse. So I'm like panicking, all these thoughts going out once. I'm fighting demons I'm fighting demons, trying to figure out how I'm about to bring this shit down. I'm thinking I'm gonna die. Like, I'm having these thoughts. I'm like, you're gonna die. Is this gonna be my last day living? I'm not gonna live anymore. So that's how I was feeling. It was the worst feeling ever. All I have to say is, if you're not tolerant to nicotine or you can't handle 5%, don't smoke. I'm not gonna like encourage y'all not to smoke. I'm not promoting drugs or whatever. But if that's what you do on a daily and that's your type of thing, go ahead. But for the people who are new to this shit, please don't hit it the way I hit it, because this is 5% nicotine. This is for smokers who smoke on a daily. If you want to try get 2%, because it's not going to make you feel that way. I've had it before, and I've had it like 1 time or 2 times or 3, like during my sophomore years in high school. But this is for experienced nic smokers. This is not for, you know what I'm saying, baby nic smokers. Now me, I'm thinking I'm gonna be straight because I smoke all kinds of weed. I smoke Dutches, I smoke hemp wraps, I smoke fucking leaves that have nicotine in them, and I rolled me so many leaf blunts. I done smoked backwoods. I'm like, hell, I'm already smoking nicotine any goddamn way. What the fuck is wrong with it? So I'm thinking, like, because I already know this is bad, and I already don't want to, you know what I'm saying, do it like that, and I don't want to be addicted like other people. So I'm already knowing that, you know what I'm saying, this could fuck me up. But I'm thinking like, well, I did it before, like, shit, what the fuck gonna happen now? All I gotta say is, you will learn. If you don't take my advice, you will learn, because I learned, and everybody learns a different way. Sometimes you gotta learn the hard way. That's just how life go. But all I'm saying is, if you're gonna do this, please make sure you're an experienced smoker. Don't be hitting this shit like that, because you will get sick. This is the Fume Extra. This is the one that I got at the smoke shop. He said that, because I was asking him, I was like, which are the ones that people usually buy? And he said this one. So honestly, do what pleases y'all, but all I gotta say is, please don't hit these motherfucking things if you are not tolerant to nic. If you're not, it's like trying to smoke Zaza. It's trying to, like, it's basically trying to smoke a whole blunt of Za, and you never smoked a whole blunt of Za before. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, y'all. It was a very terrible experience. I highly do not recommend. Y'all can laugh in the comments. I don't give a fuck. But all I got to say is, you ain't gonna be laughing if it happened to you. That's all I got to say. I was thinking I was gonna die. It was a very terrible experience. It gave me, I'm traumatized from the experience, by the way. So that's another set of trauma that I will be telling my therapist. But yeah. So yeah, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Please be safe with vape and all of that. And you wanna know what's so crazy? This is my karma. Everybody always gets some kind of karma. I was on the phone with my doctor the other day, and they were like, you need to drink a lot of water because I have headaches and I get like hella migraines. She was like, oh, and don't vape. Guess what I went and go did? Vaped. Lesson learned. I'm too old to be learning less. Well, I mean, everybody learn less. It really don't matter how old you is. All I got to say is, listen to people when they tell you shit, okay? Or you will learn the hard way. Common sense. I love y'all though. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Get your girl to 3,000 subscribers. Share my shit. Get your friends to watch me. If you watch me on the TV, tag me on Instagram. And yeah, y'all, I love y'all. Bye, Barbianas.